everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is, I think, one of the very first ones ever to exist on YouTube, and that is about the Harry Potter porcelain Fève, which is French for bean.
A bean!
So if you didn't know what a Fève was, or a bean, I will explain it to you. This comes from Fableland.com. The French fèves, or bean, are hand-painted porcelain or ceramic figurines. They are made to put in the Epiphany cake, also called the King Cake. This is a tradition from France which happens every year on January 6th. Originally, it's a day when the three wise men come to Bethlehem to honor baby Jesus, so it's a little bit of a religious tradition, but bear with me. The tradition in France is to bake a cake called the King Cake and insert the bean inside the cake. The person who finds the bean in his or her slice is the king or queen of the day, so they get a crown. And here is an example of a Harry Potter crown. 1, 2, and 3, usually made out of cardboard. More recently, the bean has been replaced by a ceramic or porcelain figurine. Since this time, the tradition has been commercialized and there's a very wide assortment of porcelain and gold figurines. And then this person sells a whole bunch of other things like Harry Potter to Pokemon, to a lot more like naughty things like rated 18 plus, to like cooking things, cars, you name it, there's a little collection of them. Personally, I love them. I even have the little Disney set. Obviously, I'm not going to show that here because this is a Harry Potter channel. But yes, I really love the Fève, and I've been collecting them since I was a child. I actually just bought one last week, which is why we're doing this, and I've been wanting to make a video about this for a very long time because it seems like no one else has ever made a video about them, so I'm gonna do it. So a lot of mine are like either factory sealed or in the original boxes, but I also have a few that are actually out in my cabinets all loose, and I don't touch them because they're so tiny and fragile. Again, they're little tiny porcelain things, so I leave them alone. However, I took lots of pictures and videos for you guys, and we can go through everything together. So the very first one we're actually going to do today is one from my cabinets and from Sorcerer Stone. So here is my Sorcerer Stone Fève set. It includes 4 house crests. You have Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, Hufflepuff, and Slytherin. They're like the old-fashioned colors. And then you have the Harry, Severus Snape, Ron Weasley, Dumbledore, and Hermione. Now notice, because these are French, some of the names have been changed into the French translation. For example, Severus Snape in English is Severus Rogue in French. So there's that. And now obviously the old stuff looks very, very vintage. You have the Harry, like these are kind of like porcelain matte, I want to say, because they're not the fine finishing, right? They're not very smooth to feel. They're not very porcelain. They're more ceramic like. But apparently I am missing some figurines from this set. Like I've never seen, or I rarely ever see my set for sale with the crest. It's usually like the figurines alone, but I have seen once or twice the set. But apparently I am missing a Hagrid, which ironically looks the exact same as the Hagrid in Chamber of Secrets that I'm going to show you. However, the copyright year has 2001 on it, so the copyright is the main difference. I'm also missing a flying Harry and a sorting hat Harry. So here's a picture of the figurines that I'm missing. You have 1, 2, and 3. Those are the ones I'm currently missing. I see there's one for on sale for eBay, but I can't justify the price. It's a bit too expensive for just needing 3 of them. So I will be leaving that one as is for now. And I do love them. These are like based off the Fred Bode illustrations, right? So like pre-filmed Dumbledore, pre-filmed Snape, pre-filmed Harry, Ron, and Hermione. I think they're absolutely beautiful. I mean, Harry's got his broomstick. It looks like Ron's carrying like scabbers or something. I don't even know what he's carrying. It looks like a blob. And then Hermione's got a stack of books. Now, I don't think they ever came in a box, and if they did, I don't know, because I've not seen a factory sealed version of this from 2001. So let's go on to Chamber Secrets. This is Chamber Secrets. This is how it comes in a beautiful red velvet box. There's nothing on the other side. There's no description whatsoever. However, when you open it up, it says Harry Potter Fève de Collection TM Warner Brothers 2002. Here it is. Here's a better close-up photo of it, but we have Gilderoy Lockhart with the, by the way, even though these are from 2002, the copyright info is 2003 on them. So you have Gilderoy Lockhart in his glory. That's how he is described in the books. That's how a lot of pre-film Gilderoy Lockhart looked like. You got Hermione Granger, a Harry Potter, a Draco Malfoy, and you get a Dobby, a pre-filmed Dobby, and I just think pre-filmed Dobby is absolutely amazing. I love pre-filmed Dobby. I have a couple of them. Then we have the Hogwarts house crest. Now, again, you will notice that the French translation is slightly different to the English one, so it's Gryffindor. You have Hufflepuff, which is Poofsouffle? Poofsouffle? I'm sorry, I can't pronounce that one. You have Ruby as Hagrid. And again, this is what Hagrid looks like in the other set that I'm missing. However, the copyright year is different. So I've seen a lot of Hagrid's for sale with the same copyright of 2003, but never for 2001, so I have not bought it. Then you have a Ravenclaw, which is like Sir Diggle? Or Diggle? Not sure. And then Serpentard for Slytherin, which is a bit funny in the last part of the name. So that is the Chamber Secrets absolutely gorgeous little Fève or bean set. And I mean, they're so beautiful. So beautiful. And there's a lot of these to go through as well, so stick around. Okay, the next one that we have is a Prisoner of Azkaban set. Now, I'm gonna be honest, it's a bit hard to find this box as is. I've seen a lot of Prisoner of Azkaban sold without the box or missing a few Fève or beans in them. This one is the exact same as Chamber Secrets in terms of design, except it's black this time. So yes, the box is still velvet. It's very nice. There's absolutely no writing on it. When we open it up, we actually have some nice little fluff in here to get rid of that. But this one says Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, but it's in French, obviously. And we have, now this is when they changed them to more glossy, right? If you notice, the first two are a bit more of a matte style, like design and everything. Now it's very glossy, very porcelain-like, based on the films, okay? It's a huge difference there. So we have Hermione, we have Hogwarts Castle that says Harry Potter on it. We have the Quidditch Cup, because again, this is Prisoner of Azkaban, but it's based on the book. So in the movie, it's completely removed, but there is a whole Quidditch Cup scene where Gryffindor actually wins the Quidditch Cup. Then you have Harry flying. You got Hermione with the Time Turner based on the movie. You got the Night Bus, which honestly is a very popular piece because everyone loves these mini things. You have Ron Weasley, you have Draco, but this time he's Drago, which is a little bit funny. Then you have another Harry one of him like basically as like a bust. It's just like his waist and up. Then you have Hedwig, I'm assuming, which is Hedwig. And then you have another Harry. So here they are again. They're absolutely beautiful. I love these. I think they're super classy, super elegant, and beautiful displaying, right? Look at how the presentation is. It's just fantastic. So that is Prisoner of Azkaban. Moving right along, we actually have two Goblet of Fire sets to discuss. The first one is actually factory sealed. And upon doing my research, which by the way, last night I was doing my research to get anything else that I was missing to share with you guys. It took me down a giant rabbit hole of like eBay France and Google France as I was down like researching Google images of all the Harry Potter Fève, and it turns out there's another set of Goblet of Fire that includes even more pieces than the ones here, and I'm going to show you guys that right now. Alright, so there is a little bit more in that other set. You get some portraits, some crests of like Durmstrang. So there kind of looks to be like 7 or 8 of them that are completely different from this set, and here they are. It's mostly that the ones on the top row that seem to be different. However, there's also a Fleur in that set and like different positions of Harry. But here is the Goblet of Fire set. Now again, this is factory sealed, so it's a little bit hard to see because it's reflective with all the plastic. So here you have like the Goblet of Fire, you got Yule Ron, you got Harry and Hedwig, Hermione, and then there's Harry in his maze outfit, and then there's Fawkes the Phoenix. Again, these are super hard to show because of how much reflection there is. But here's the back. It's basically like a display book. So it says collection de 12 Fève, so there's 12 of them, and then you have like this little book where you can open it up and display everything. So here is the book. I'm gonna move this way a little bit. See that? Everything is just displayed there, and then like there's like a Hogwarts that pops out. And here's a better image of all the items. So you got the Quidditch World Cup pamphlet, you got Harry, you got a Fawkes, a Hermione, the Golden Egg, you got a Grindylow, you got Harry in his maze outfit, like I said, a Flying Harry, you got Harry and Hedwig, you got a Ron, the Goblet of Fire, and then Nagini. So there is that set. Now it's pretty cool. This one is, now we can actually see the brand names here, and this one is by Alcara, A-L-C-A-R-A. That is who made all of the ones that I have like this, or factory sealed, or like glossy. I'm assuming they're a different company as the pre-film ones, but I don't know who made them because there's no way to know. So that is one Goblet of Fire set. However, there's also another Goblet of Fire set, and this one is probably my favorite set that I own, because if you look, it actually spells out the word Harry Potter, and these are all from Goblet of Fire. So I have these on display. They're in front of my Mary Grand Prix book thimbles, and it looks really great in my opinion because you have the books behind the name. So it has H for Harry, you got a Grindylow for A, you got Fleur and Ron for the R's, you got another Harry for a Y, Victor Crumb for P, Hermione for an O, another Harry for T, you got Hagrid for T. You also have Harry and Cedric in their maze outfits for the E and the R. These copyright info for these are 2008, so they came out a couple years after Goblet of Fire, but they're for Goblet of Fire. Whereas this set came out in 2005. So these are the first ones. And then there's that other one that has like the extension as well. And then there are these. So these are honestly my favorite to have on display. They look so nice. You can find these on eBay sometimes. I'm pretty sure there's one already listed right now. So if you're curious about having a beautiful display of a mini Harry Potter, try eBay, or like some websites in France, they have them too. Now, moving along to Order of the Phoenix, we have another factory sealed one. So here is a really tiny box in comparison to Goblet of Fire, but here is Order of the Phoenix. Now obviously, as I did a video a couple months ago about the evolution of merchandise packaging, you can clearly tell what year is what based on the color of packaging. So red is Goblet of Fire, and this greenish tinge like seaweed almost is like Order of the Phoenix. So you have the Ministry of Magic emblem. You got Ron Weasley, Harry Potter, Hermione Granger as busts. And then you have Mini Hermione, you got Alistair Moody, which by the way, he is called Alistair Mangray, basically in French. Then you have a Crouching Harry, you have Umbridge, you have Sirius Black, you have Kingsley Shacklebolt, which is very cool because you don't really get so many Kingsley merch. Then you have Albus Dumbledore, and then you have Lucius Malfoy, who looks very much like PS1 Hagrid over there. And you'll notice the last name is Malfoy, like M-A-L-E-F-O-Y. So there's an E in there because français. Again, these were made by Alcara, which is, I guess, the new license for the Fève. On the back of it, there's also all these like Q&A questions, and the answers are actually like right down there. But for example, this top question right here is asking you which member is not a member of the Order of the Phoenix, or I should say which person, and the answer would be Lucius Malfoy, because it says n'est pas, so negative, who is not a member of Order of the Phoenix. Look, we're in French class today, guys. So there you go. There's a couple questions like that, like who is the actor who plays Harry Potter, and it's like Daniel Radcliffe. So just a little bit of fun facts for you guys. So there is Order of the Phoenix. So far, let me know of those sets, which ones are your favorite, but don't worry because we still got plenty to go. Okay, so the next one is a bit of a weird one. So here is the Half-Blood Prince, and it says one giant one, which is true. Here is the giant Harry Potter. Look how big he is in comparison to the others. Now again, this is all factory sealed. So you have like Dumbledore and Snape, you got Ron, a Crouching Harry, Filch, you got Ginny, you got Professor Trelawney, the big Harry, you got Hermione, Bellatrix Lestrange, and McGonagall. So there that is. Now again, it's the same brand as always, the Alcara brand right there. And then on the back, it's honestly no questions, it's just a simple wispy bluish gray packaging of Half-Blood Prince. However, they also made this in a different box that does not have this in here. And it's like a giant square box. And I'm gonna show you screenshots of it because I don't own it and I had to go down the rabbit hole to find it. In this set, you don't get this big Harry. However, you do get two extras. You get a Hedwig sitting and a sorting hat, which I do own. I actually have them. So here's a photo of them from my collection. You have the Hedwig and the sorting hat, and they're like part of the set, but I didn't buy them with this. My mom got me this one here, and then she also got me those elsewhere. And I also have this flying car, which I have no idea what part of set this is from, but it has the copyright info of 2005 on it. I don't actually know what set that is from, but I just have this flying car chilling by himself. So yeah, I got that one random one by itself, but he is really cute. It is a beautiful painting. I love the very fine finishing of these ones. Not to say I don't like the pre-film ones, but I do really like how sleek and elegant the fine finishing, the nice polish finish looks like. So ironically, I just bought another bean set, and it arrived from France, sense while I was away. But here it is. This one is actually a display stand. So look at that. It's got the packaging of Half-Blood Prince on it. But it came out in 2017 because that's when the copyright information is. So technically speaking, Half-Blood Prince came out in 2009. The movie, that is. So this, I don't really know what this is for, like if it was for anything. However, these are basically like glued on as a display. And you have, obviously it's in French, so like Snape says Severus Rogue, Draco Malfoy for French for Draco Malfoy. Lord Voldemort is spelled the same, but it's Lord Voldemort. You don't really pronounce the T at the end of it. And then the rest of them are all the same. Now these are my least favorite because it's literally just images of them printed out on porcelain, and I'm like, it's not the nicest ones, right? Like it's just an image of them. It's not like high quality like the other ones where they're like painted and everything and they look beautiful. However, I did want to show this off as an example of what they look like. There's also another set from Half-Blood Prince that I'm really trying to get my hands on. I've been contacting a bunch of French vendors as we speak because it also has like the potion making book, you have Quidditch Ron, you have Luna, you have Tonks. So I really like that, right? I really want to get my hands on the Half-Blood Prince set that I do not have. I've even seen the box factory sealed. Here was what the box looks like factory sealed. But there's still one more to talk about that is not from Half-Blood Prince, and that is a 10 set Deathly Hallows set, which I think is beautiful because you get some characters you don't normally see. Okay, so this set comes in a box that's all red. If you've seen my previous evolution video, you'll know that the merch was always like in red or black. But in this case, the box is red. I unfortunately do not have the box, but I do have the set. So here is the 10 set. So you have Mr. Lovegood, you have Mad-Eye Moody, you have Kingsley, you have Ron, Harry, Hermione, Dobby, Hedwig, Hagrid, and Tonks as a blonde, which is a little bit fun, you know? You don't normally get that as a blonde. So these are basically like just their heads, and if you'll notice behind them, they all have like that little stamp, right? That red stamp. A lot of the merch has that, which is fun to see. It's basically the Hogwarts seal. And if you look at the art box cards for Deathly Hallows, that is the same design that they have. They all have that little Hogwarts seal stamp. So this is kind of a continuation of the merchandise throughout like Deathly Hallows era, how everything has the same theme. So it is fun to notice that. If you like that kind of tism thing, I do. I think it's cool. So there is the Deathly Hallows set. They are not my favorite, but they're still fun because they're different. They're like busts, right? Like it's just their shoulders and up. It's not them standing. It's not something from printed like on the movies. I particularly don't like the printed stuff. I try to avoid them as much as possible. For example, like these are not my favorite because literally, again, it's just printed. Nothing unique about them. However, it is fun to point that out for you guys. There are so many new sets now as well. Like there are a Chibi set, which if you know me, you know I despise Chibi, so I'll never buy it, but they also made a Fantastic Beasts set. There seems to be two different sets though. One of them has all like the characters, Jacob, Queenie, Tina, and Newt as like miniature, beautiful hand-drawn ones, and another one seems to have them like in a box. So I honestly don't know how many Fantastic Beasts sets there are. However, like the animals and then the trunk are all the same. Like they're all hand painted and everything, but some of the characters' faces are just printed instead, kind of resembling this. All right, so basically guys, that is the conclusion of the Harry Potter Fève set. They're very popular to find on like eBay France, or if they're even selling across the world, you'll be able to find them in your own like national eBay. If you're from Germany, you should be able to find them in Germany because you know they'll be selling worldwide. So if you're from America, you should be able to find them unless they're not. So I'm currently in talks with a lot of French vendors who are not willing to sell to America. I'm like, you want to sell to me because I want them. So that is the end of the collection of my Fève or beans. A bean. Let me know in the description below which ones you guys liked, if you think these are fascinating or not. Let me know if you want to see more really like niche videos like this, because I have a whole lot of these that I can do. Again, these are all of my Fèves, so there's no other Fève to show you guys unless I get another one, which may happen. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys all next time. Bye.